Hello indie game fans! Things were shaken up last week in terms of gaming events, so expect more exciting news this week. But when talking about the big picture, my top 10 picks of the week begins with 1971 Project HELIOS. As mentioned in the video covering the best releases of the month, this is a turn-based tactics game set in 1971, so right smack in the middle of the Cold War, and has a ragtag group of characters working together to look for a kidnapped scientist. I do think that the military setting, not modern and cutting edge, but not World War II either, could be used quite interestingly, and when weapons and vehicles are scarce, melee close quarter combat is always the option. There are RPG elements with skill trees for each character, different enemy factions, resource management and more, so one for tactics fans. I almost put Weapon Hacker in my video on upcoming Metroidvania indie games, but then realized that this is actually a Roguevania instead, following in the footsteps of Dead Cells and a robot named Fight. The main gimmick here is to hack together scavenged weapon parts to build and customize your own weapon, with what seems to be a nice amount of variety both in the weapon parts and the Metroidvania upgrades. It is supposed to be self-contained runs of up to 1 hour each, but procedural generation should add to the replayability. While the 2.5D graphics are not my favourite, it does have its charm, and I think that as a whole, it does work for this game. I could have sworn that main assembly released in April, but apparently it got delayed to June, but this freeform sandbox builder puzzle title looks like a pretty good time, although it seems targeted at a very specific type of person. In my previous coverage, I mentioned this game's similarity to Besiege, only instead of a medieval setting, this one has you building robots and vehicles instead. However, instead of square blocks, the building tools in this are very impressive, allowing for curved surfaces, which does give everything a more natural look. There's also programming logic and automation which you can control, so a tremendously ambitious game. While a large part of this is the fun that you must make for yourself, hopefully the developers have created some good starting points to kick things off. I've seen the term The Dark Eye being thrown around, but never realized that it is a German pen and paper role-playing game, so The Dark Eye Book of Heroes did teach me something new. This is a co-op multiplayer RPG with online support, so in a world where social distancing is the norm, this is a great one to bust out in place of your regular D&D session, supporting up to 4 players, 12 classes and 4 playable races. Not sure if it would be on the level of something like Divinity Original Sin, but could be pretty cool. I've been looking forward to Warborn ever since it was announced, since this mecha turn-based strategy title merges Advanced Wars and 90s anime, so of course I'm down for that. While I've not given any Gundam series a proper shot, the aesthetics and concept of this game does appeal to me. Pilot deadly variable armor suits, and lead a strike force deep into enemy territory, waging war to bring peace to the solar system. There are unique commanders for each faction, each with their own unique abilities and powers, but of course, you can also mass produce grunt units to do the bulk of the work. Seems pretty alright and should be another one for tactics fans. Just a quick note, if you are new here and enjoyed the video so far, be sure to subscribe and check out the Discord channel while you are at it. Here's to more indie gaming coverage, so back to the video.
When the Nugan Hand Bank of Sydney, Australia collapsed in 1980, it appeared at first glance to be just another bank failure. But after Australian authorities began taking a closer look, they discovered a tangled web of intrigue.
A Hand with Many Fingers is a detective game that has you uncovering a conspiracy deep within the CIA's archives.
A mysterious death, the body later dug up from its grave, big-time drug operations, and the Central Intelligence Agency.
Gather evidence and link them together via red string in order to uncover the mystery on hand. Another returning title is the puzzle platformer Evans Remains. Play as a young girl named Dices, who received a mysterious letter from the eponymous Evan, who disappeared many years ago, and he wants her to solve the puzzle and to bring him home. I'm in love with the pixel art of this title, with how detailed everything looks and the ample use of sunlight and reflections. This is in part inspired by Japanese graphic adventure games, which I suppose you can see in the design of the characters. The tropical island setting is beautiful and reminds me of happier times, although it may just have a secret or two to uncover. One of the prettiest games that I've ever laid my eyes on. Hopefully the puzzles will be challenging enough and the central story compelling enough to keep us playing. When browsing the new releases, I do chance upon impressive and innovative titles ever so often, and one such game this week is Swarm. This is a rhythm action platformer shoot-'em-up hybrid, which seems like a lot, but a combination of the music in the trailer that absolutely slaps, the neon aesthetics and the action and innovation of combining these genres makes me want to give it a try. Very clever and fantastic looking, and best of all, this one is free as well. In the week of World Oceans Day, Beyond Blue is a beautiful Abzu-like exploration game which is very appropriate to check out. The developers have done up the trailer quite nicely, so I'll hand it over to them.
Welcome to the Western Pacific. I'm Dr. Mirai Soto, and I'll be your eyes and ears on this expedition. I'm joined today by two colleagues.
Hello, I'm Andre.
And I'm Irina.
First time on a live stream. Be gentle with her.
That's close enough. You can use your dive wad to control the buoy from there.
I'm scanning to train our AI to recognize sperm whales, and so we can hopefully recognize our specific friend later.
Hello, Mirai. Thanks for checking in. Feeling settled in the sun?
I'm great. Nice suit, nice sub.
This solo sub test makes me nervous. We're definitely fitting it out for 2 pilots next time.
Didn't you help design it?
Yes, but now you're driving it.
Well, you don't see that every day. At least I don't.
Neither do I.
Looking good, Mirai. The Manta drone is ready for its first zoom scan.
All right, baby. We won't forget you now.
Great. I've been waiting for this. I have just activated your UV light. Now you can see what a swell shark sees.
That's what I'm talking about. Okay, this dive just keeps getting stranger.
I have something I know you'll want to see.
And of course, the Steam release of Satisfactory is a big deal to many, since first-person Factorial has done tremendously well during its early access launch so far on the Epic Games Store. But if you were holding out, now is perhaps a good time to jump in. The appeal of this type of game to me is the upgrade loop, where every new technology unlocked and resource gathered opens up the possibility space of what you can do, which just makes you want to continue playing on and on and on. Optimization tweaks will become glaringly obvious to you over time, which will more often than not result in you tearing down and rebuilding entire sections of your factory. But hey, that is part of the fun. The first-person perspective is very good, since it allows for verticality and elevation, with some of the factories that I've seen videos of being really impressive pieces of work. This will still be in early access on Steam with a planned launch in 2022, but this is already excellent and wholly worth it, taking the #1 spot. To see more of the big picture, check out these awesome videos and I will see you after the jump.